Iain Begg is a professorial research fellow at the European Institute, London School of Economics and Political Science. He joins me now live from Cambridge in the UK. Thank you for joining us on the program. How serious of a situation is this politically to have the Prime Minister hospitalized, which in itself would be a national crisis, but in the middle of another national crisis? What are the political implications here?
Well, it is worrying because of the very powerful position of the Prime Minister in the British system. The Prime Minister stands above all the other ministers and is the ultimate authority who makes the difficult decisions. If something very difficult has to be decided in the next few days while Boris Johnson is hospitalised and he's not in a position to make that decision, then he has to delegate it to others, as Sarah just explained in your piece. I think what would happen if he were to be medium to long-term incapacitated is that the Conservative Party would designate an interim Prime Minister, and that interim Prime Minister would take over for however long it was needed. It's not as though there'd be a complete vacuum. But Britain also has a very powerful civil service, and the Cabinet Office has as its leader the Cabinet Secretary, who is the top civil servant in the country. And that civil servant, Mark Sedwill, would work very closely with the cabinet and with a designated interim leader to ensure continuity of government. So I don't think we should be unduly alarmed about how this is going, because this is very much a executive activity that's been taking place at the moment rather than political decisions. And while that executive activity is going on, the Prime Minister's role is important, but it's not that vital. Where he can make a difference is in rallying the population, something Boris is very good at. And that's where he'll be missed most.
From a public perception point of view, how does this look? Boris Johnson, as we know, initially downplayed the seriousness of the coronavirus outbreak, as many governments did. He was out shaking hands, a month ago, even at hospitals, and now he himself has fallen ill. How does this look there in the UK to people who are watching all of this?
I think what it will mainly do is to reinforce to people that this is an extremely serious risk to everybody's health. If a Prime Minister who is looking quite cavalier about it can be stricken in the way he has, in contrast to other ministers who apparently also had the same infection and brushed it off very rapidly, this will bring home to people that they need to be far more careful than they have been. Now, as I look out the window over here, I can see it's a very nice sunny day, very tempting for everybody to be out and about, enjoying the early summer type weather. And the message that has been quite slow to percolate down to people is that they need to stay in and observe the 2-meter rules, the separation, the social distancing, and so on. So I think that the gravity of Boris Johnson's situation will reinforce that message from government. I'm not saying it's a good thing to happen, but it's something that will be seen with hindsight as having been helpful to the cause.
What do you think this is doing to the mood there in the United Kingdom? Certainly people must already be on edge. We don't know, how long lockdowns will go on, and now the Prime Minister has fallen ill, and we don't know how serious the situation actually is.
Well, we have had a number of very prominent people, including Prince Charles, saying that they were infected with the COVID-19 disease. It looked as though for Boris Johnson, as it was for another minister, the health minister, ironically, that it was a very temporary thing. And now his relapse into a much more serious condition will mean that people take this far more seriously than they have previously. As I look out in the street, I see no cars, I see no people out walking. And that is a symptom of just how strange this new environment is. On a summer's day, you'd expect to see all kinds of people around, nothing in the streets.
All right, we'll leave it there. Iain Begg, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.